Good morning. Welcome to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. We start this week off Drive Safe Dave like every week should start off with, and it's all about safety. As we began yesterday with the CVSA Driver Safety Awareness Week.
Yeah, and the enforcement week this week. There's going to be a lot of people out there. There's going to be a lot of tickets being written this week, and it's going to involve driving too fast, driving too close, illegal lane changes, not obeying traffic signs, traffic indicators. So there's going to be a lot of enforcement going on there this week as law enforcement goes after every driver, not just
focus on speeding.
Yeah,
right. Big focus on speeding. Listen, you've got to make sure you're driving within that speed limit. You got to watch the going with the flow of the traffic and items like that. I will say this, that speeding did result in a 17% increase in fatalities from last year. So speeding is a major concern. Other items we're going to look at, we talk about them here all the time, following too close.
Yeah, it's one of our big deals here. We try to focus on it every week. We're trying to bring out the attention because we truly believe we as a country follow way too close out there on the road.
Not we as Drive Safe Dave. We
as a country.
He looped us all into his issues, right? Just like
our issues on the country.
It's your issue.
That is correct, because I want everyone to be aware of speed and space out there on the highways.
What did you do over the weekend? Hot. A scorcher of a weekend once again with a week in Drive Safe or Dale. Double check Dale. I know you're getting upset at me probably somewhere going over your weather, but Drive Safe, it's going to be seriously hot.
Yeah, it's going to be so hot. They're even talking about rolling blackouts coming today and tomorrow in the state of Texas but they say we have enough power, but it is possible. Don't run your don't run your pumps at home on your pool.
Yeah, just be safe for certain. Watch out for all this. We don't want what we had a couple years ago, right? Was that 2 years ago we had all the power surges?
Oh, yeah, we had power blackouts.
It was unbelievable. We don't want that. We have to make sure
it's too hot.
We're taking care. It's no doubt it's a scorcher on that. Anything else happen over the weekend, sir?
I did a little staying at home action and got in the pool a couple of times, but other than that.
Did a little staying at home action. In other words, you didn't do anything.
Well, I did stuff around the house for my wife.
What did you do? Just give me like 4 things.
We cleaned out.
No, what did you do? Not we. What did you do, Drive Safe?
Move the heavy stuff for my wife. I had to move the heavy stuff. Well, I say we. She was director. I was worker. The boss and laborer. I was the laborer. And we had to move. We had to clear out that area, that house out back. We had to clean it completely out. They're fixing a bus of concrete and put in a sewage system.
Gotcha. All right. A little toiletry going on out there. Might as well, right? You have a place, throw a bathroom in it. I'll say that. Do not pass Drive Safe. Let's go straight to the sign because we have an interview we got to make sure we get to. Drive Safe, talk to us about that.
There are areas in it that they warn, indicate, and share with you out there on the road that don't go around, don't pass, don't move on the left, and don't move on the right. They don't want you to pass out there and move out in the lane. Sometimes that's set out there not only by this sign, but the roads will indicate it by the double yellow lines on the road or double white lines. You don't want to cross those. Don't try to pass in those dangerous areas, on those curves, on those hills, those blind corners, and things like that. These are set there for a reason, and usually, and I'm just going to tell you out now, they're usually set there because somebody did and somebody got in a wreck.
Gotcha. That's good stuff there, Drive Safe. If you come across a do not pass sign, if you have to make a choice, should you pass on the left or should you pass on the right?
Wow. Why would you choose to do either? I mean, if it says do not pass, that's pretty much a good indication. Don't do it. I'm not sure what he's talking about, which is the lesser of two evils in breaking the law. I'm not sure.
If you had to break the law, which side would you break it on, sir?
You should always pass on the left, yes. I don't know. Don't pass. Why are you doing that to me? Why are you doing
Oh, man. Hey, we're going to hop into the interview. Before we do that, this is today's Monday, so we're just going to look a little bit at what's on this upcoming week. We talked about the week following a holiday. Here's Memorial Day. Here's the 4th of July. Freight went down. It tried to go back up and sank down again. Drive Safe Dave, this is a big week ahead of us as we think about the inventory that's sitting at the warehouses today. And we've heard it reported from everybody, the Walmarts, the Targets, everybody's sitting on inventory. What are they going to do, Drive Safe Dave? Because, somehow they're going to have to start shipping out again. They're going to have to start taking in inventory. And if warehouses are full, how do you bring in more inventory?
I really don't know the answer to that question. Or get more warehouses. I'm not sure.
Yeah, more warehouses.
Yeah,
There's
more
one
warehousing
way.
space. Yeah, and start getting rid of some of what you have. Start selling it off. There's going to be huge. I was watching the news this weekend. They're talking about huge price cuts across the country, and to try to thin out some of the inventory. And it's a lopsided inventory, so Rick. There's a lot of items that they believe it or not, they got in that were sitting on the boats and delayed for a long, long time, and they got it in late, and now it's not seasonal anymore, and they don't know what to do with it. They got what was it I saw? They got like hundreds of thousands of beach chairs. Just came in. What do you
do with that, right? What do you do with the beach chair? Well, you go to the beach. That's what you do.
Yeah, but it's almost over. I mean, season's over.
Hey, we look at the rejection rate, Dave, as well, where we pummeled down there at the 6.9 era. That means that last week we saw a lot of freight. We didn't see a lot of freight being shipped out the week after a holiday. Right. We saw the rejections go way back down to 6.9, nearing what we saw in 2019 at 5.2. So a drastic change over just a year ago when we were at that 23% rejection rate. So a drastic change on that for certain is what we see, Dave, especially, again, with all of that inventory just kind of looming out there. The freight rates, well, here's a change. They hadn't gone down, at least. With the holiday, though, comes a little less trucks out there to run, right? Supply's not quite out there. Demand remains stronger, so you typically can get a little bit more money as an owner-operator. Nothing crazy.
Right.
Prices stayed at $2.84, but fuel did come down.
It did too.
Fuel comes down to $2.65. We'll show that. The independent contractor for a week did get a minimal, kind of rate increase. We can look at it right here at $5.69 a gallon. So down from that $5.89, 20 cents, another 2-3 cents a mile. Back to that independent contractor, back to that company. So we are seeing, we're seeing some at least we're seeing a change, right? It's coming down a little bit, but it's done that before, Dave, and it went right back up.
Yeah, right there.
So what are we going to, so what happens next? We did see it come down a couple times before it went up again. Yeah. Are we in that era again? So a lot of, just a lot of uncertainty. This is a big week for me. And it won't be today. It'll be today and tomorrow. So Wednesday, I think we'll have a better idea of what post July the 4th looks like. And it's a nervous time for us in the industry right now because you got people at the beach. You're talking about spending a lot of money. Airline tickets are up, fuel's up, the VRBOs, Airbnbs, all of that. Hotels are maxed out. Where do they get the money to buy goods at, Dave? Because for certain they need to get bought because inventory is sitting heavy.
Yeah, I saw they are looking at slashing huge prices. I know that they're talking about. I saw a retail expert on the news the other day. I was watching it, and they said that there's going to be huge savings on certain items of goods across the country, and that you have a rare opportunity to go out. Your dollar's going to buy more because of the huge cut in savings, even though inflation has shrunk the dollar value.
Yeah, and I'm going to go out and say that, we're going to probably, and I agree with you. So you think about this. Think about the companies that shipped this freight in. They paid a lot of money to get this product in, to get those clothes in, to get that shirt in. They paid a lot of money to get that in here. You saw record quarters, once again, from the steamship lines.
Yes.
Record quarters. Yep. And this is after last year's just numbers blowing away. They're coming back in at first and second quarters of just as equal numbers. So the Walmarts, the retailers, they've gone out there and paid prime dollars to have this product shipped in, only to have it sitting there, Dave, and now they have to really kind of give it away. We're talking, in my mind, we're talking some pretty decent-sized losses that are getting ready to happen here as you paid the money up here to get it shipped out, and all of a sudden now there's just tons of inventory. And if you're going to empty out that inventory, those warehouses, you're going to have to sell it down here. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, my wife's in retail, and as you well know, and she said there are stores now that if you take something back in to return it, they give you your money back, but they don't have room to take the product. They're just saying, just keep it. Here's your money return. Just keep it. We can't take it. We don't have enough room.
Yep. Big week again. We're going to see what happens. this is the period that it tends to slow down. And on top of that, now we're in what we know is a recession. We're in super high prices in fuel. You know, it truly is a week that I think is going to tell us a story about what's in the next 2 months for us. I don't think it'll change much in what we see over these next 2 weeks. It'll kind of, I think, feed into the rest of the quarter. We're going to see what's going to happen, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that on Wednesday. Maybe even wait Thursday, Friday, get a better picture on that. Drive Safe Dave coming up next. We do have an interview with Derek Williams.
That's right.
We're going to talk to him. It's a pre-recorded interview. We'll be back to you in about 22, 23 minutes on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
This segment has been brought to you by Utility ProWear. Utility ProWear manufactures high-quality, ANSI-certified, high-visibility apparel for both men and women. Infused with the Teflon fabric protector, Utility ProWear gives you the added benefit of providing a barrier to liquids, dirt, and grime, keeping you cleaner longer, brighter longer, and therefore safer longer. Get your high visibility apparel by going to utilityproware.com. Use the code BCB20 at checkout for an exclusive discount.
All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Drive Safe Dave here, and along with Sir Rick, he's here with us. A little bit of remote action going in his brand new shirt.
Things happen. I have to get out of the office to create success, and sometimes Drive Safe Dave, I can't sit in there with you. I've got to go out and knock on doors. I got to go spread the word on safety, Drive Safe Dave.
I'm good with it. In fact, the more you get out and get success going away from the office, the more success Drive Safe Dave's going to have each and every day. But it's good to have you here, Sir Rick. Just saying, good to have you here.
It's a great commission, Drive Safe Dave. Go into all the world and spread the word of safety. I'm just doing the word. That's all I'm doing.
And by the way, we're not just here for each other today. We're here to bring one more into the group, and that's Derek Williams, founder of the Trucking Entrepreneurs Podcast. Derek, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing excellent. How are you all?
Man, we're doing great. Here we are today. Here we are right after the 4th of July. Celebration of this country. We are here celebrating another year. What you got going over there, Sir Rick? Oh, you put a hat on. Look at this guy. I'll tell you what, we're celebrating another. Did you enjoy your 4th of July holiday as it has just occurred?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I sure did. Wonderful. You know, my wife, she cooked out on the grill, and that's not my thing. I can do, yard work, housework, but the cooking aspect, I leave that all to the wife, and enjoyed myself. My parents came over and for a little short while, and we had a very good time.
Yeah, I got you on that one, Derek. My wife cooks and does the lawn and does the laundry, so I got you.
I just know a guy. That's all. I just know a guy. I just know I have a lawn guy. But my wife does all the cooking. I like her cooking, so.
Oh, okay. Excellent. Excellent.
All right. Yeah. So Derek, catch us up on what we've missed since the last time you were on the show. Fill us kind of in on what's you got a new microphone. And what else has been going on with you?
Well, first, before going too far, I'd like to say thank you again for having me on your show. I really do appreciate it, and it's definitely an honor to be on your show a second time. But to answer your question, I've been extremely busy since the last time I was on your show. With that is to the point where I've actually had to reach out to get some help with or delegate a couple of tasks to someone else to help out with it, to keep me from getting worn out. So, which is a good thing. It's not a complaint at all. And so I'm thankful for the growth, thankful for being busy. Also, today marked my 28th episode. I dropped that this morning with a guest by the name of Sandra Covington. She's the author of The Truck Driver's Wife Holding Down the Home Front. That's the name of her book.
What an
So
interesting topic.
yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it's a very moving interview, and it's a very, very touching story. You know, her and her husband went through a whole lot from the beginning to get to where they are right now. So it's a very good interview for sure.
You know, you talk about that, and as you get to interview these great and interesting people and fun people, and do you, what are some of the things that you, learn more about? Like when you interviewed her about the home front, what hit you differently that you weren't aware of?
I would say the depth of their struggle with that particular interview. We actually have some similarities in certain type of struggles, you know, in our marriages and everything. But you know, it's one of the things I love about doing podcasting is you have the pleasure of finding out these different stories from the different guests to see how they came from the bottom to the top per se. And it's always interesting to hear everyone's story. Everybody has a different lane.
Yeah, you know, when you talk about that, and as we got to go through there and we celebrate each other, and as you talk to these people, it's kind of the human story, right? It's what you're throwing out there, especially with her and that. So we need to get that. So that's number 28. We want to make sure that we put that out there. That's number 28, right, of your podcast.
Yes,
So if we want
yes,
to hear
sir.
that interview, we don't want to break all the news today. I mean, we don't want to do the re-interview, but we want people to get out there and hear your interview. So, what's your favorite part about having your own podcast? Now that you've dropped number 28, what's your favorite part?
That's a very good question. My favorite part is just having a platform to help people. You know, like have told some, you know, whether it's one person that hears this episode or a million or more, it's just giving them the opportunity to get the voice out there. And I've compared it to, I don't know if you had this back when you was in school, but you remember show and tell?
Absolutely.
Remember that? Yes, sir. That's where I consider my podcast is
I
you
made an
get
A.
to.
I made an A in show and tell.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's a course you can't fail. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
you can't fail a show and tell, right? You can't fail show and tell. And I like to do a lot of talking. So yeah. So okay.
Oh, okay.
So okay. So you got this, and you got this this podcast, and you get this platform. What has surprised you the most when you do this? I mean, I know you obviously you enjoy doing it. Obviously you're doing well at it. What has surprised you the most while doing it?
That's a very good question. I would say I don't know if you referring to like dealing with guests or just the whole process.
Everything. I mean, anything that you know. I'll tell you, as I've gotten to this, and for me personally, my personal idea and belief in safety has grown tremendously in trying to get the word out. I think my passion has become centered and focused on safety. And in fact, it's hard to be around me when we have meetings or when we go out and we meet new people. Sometimes my wife will roll her eyes because somebody will mention something about safety, and boy, I'm on it. You know what I mean? It's like, and I'll tell you, for me, whether it be BCB Live or it be anything else, my promise and seriousness and passion for safety has become very real to me. What is it about your podcast that makes it different, that you have found for yourself, the purpose of it? What for you, really?
Okay. For me, it's something that really touches home because I like focusing more so on small businesses. And like I say, it touches home with me because I've had different businesses throughout the years going way back. And I know how strong the struggle is to try to get some type of publicity or get on some type of platform to let people know that I'm out there. And that's, part of the reason that I created this podcast, and the good Lord led me to create it, is to give people a voice. Because as small businesses, that's definitely has been the backbone of America, and that's the main pillar of its economy. So with that, I understand the struggle. I understand the discipline it takes. I understand the countless hours, sleepless nights, etc., to try to get the wheels turning in motion to try to be successful being a small business owner. So, in saying that, I try to do my best in the knowledge that I have to help different small businesses when they come on the platform or talk with them or whatever. Some of them I may have to coach in some areas that I do have knowledge about to help bring them up even more to be, successful. And I enjoy that. I enjoy helping people. That's always been to the core of my soul.
Wow, and as you talk about these entrepreneurs that you highlight on your show, and you get to know them, and and you've had a wide variety, right? You had a wide variety of different types of entrepreneurs come on here, whether it be from recruiting to, and here we are talking about an author within the industry. What are what are some of the different entrepreneurs you brought in?
One of them, I guess, like you said, recruitment, people, drug and testing. I have one that sticks out more to me than others, and that's due to his name is Mr. Larry Walker. He's the owner of Descale and Matic Corporation. He has a product that's called a Fuel Saver, and I found that a very unique product. And I can't remember if he reached out to me or either vice versa. But he was telling me about that, and it's in the interview as well. And I just found it very amazing to learn about it because it's a product that helps with basically improve performance, reducing, soot, reduce emissions, etc. And it also provides an increase of somewhere between 10 to 20%, sometimes more, in fuel cost savings. And then the better part of it, in my personal opinion, is that product actually pays for itself anywhere between 2 to 6 months. So I found that to be a very good thing instead of something that has to take years to pay off. It pays for itself in a very short period of time. So that's one guess. I've had texting. Oh my goodness. The young lady, Tasha Harrison Springs, she's all about safety and against being awareness of being off the phone and texting and driving. She's against all that, which is good. This different ones, Mr. The heavy duty parts report, Mr. Jamie Irvine, with he's an excellent guy out of Canada. So I can go right down the list. I just
No,
have to
and
remember the names.
as you talk about these entrepreneurs that you get to meet and interview, and you get to associate with and learn a little bit about them, what are some of the key factors that you have come to identify in those people that help create their own success? What are some of the things that when we see your podcast, we'll see as those key points of that individual that makes them successful?
In my opinion, I believe for the majority of them is good mentorship. Good mentorship. A lot of them have good mentors that help guide them along the path and ways, and then also being part of a close-knit network as well has really helped a lot of them succeed and get through all the tough times and the growing pains. Those definitely are the two things I've seen, and hearing about making sure they have the finances and capital and the discipline that it takes to be successful in business is really sticks out to me.
Derek, and as we talk about this, who are some of the people that you may have coming on the show soon? Do you have anything out there that we may need to look for? You got any ideas? What kind of stuff you got planned for Trucking Entrepreneurs podcast?
Yes, sir. I do have one guest. He is absolutely hilarious. His name is Mr. Chris Harris. He's with Safety Dog Inc. He is a very funny man. He's all about safety. I mean, to the max. He reminds me a lot of your podcast. He's extremely serious about it. But on the flip side, he's very funny. He believes in having fun while, doing your work as well. And his podcast is coming out on the full interview on July the 12th.
Oh, wow.
And if you were to hear him, man, it's going to keep you, rolling in between the serious parts. And matter of fact, I could imagine him being on you all's show because of the knowledge that you all have in safety combined with his, and then the comedy that you all would have together. I would pay to see that episode if that would ever happen.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll do everything we can to get another comedian on in here to talk a little bit about safety. We sure don't have enough of that going on in this building at any given moment. Not. But you know what? We're excited for the opportunity to talk to anyone about safety. Derek, as we talk about this, and as we talk about the entrepreneurs in this industry, what is it that you see right now as some of the hot topics going on? You've been talking to people in the trucking industry. What are some of the genuine hot topics out there? Like for us, obviously fuel. Like I've found fuel being a hot topic, and also limiters. They're talking about putting limits, speed limiters on there. What are some of the hot topics that you've come across?
The most one of them would be parking. It's the parking
100%.
issue. And I didn't know it was that serious. I don't have the knowledge that you all have about the industry, but I didn't know it was as serious as it was until just getting bits and pieces of it off of LinkedIn. And matter of fact, one of my future guests I have coming on later down the road, he actually has an app that actually helps with the parking issue for truckers and everything. So that's going to be a very interesting interview, when that takes place. And so, but that's one issue that I find surprising is the parking issue.
Yeah, and I agree with you 100%, Derek. We've talked about it on this show with many, many different trucking associations and drivers and what have you. And yeah, this is not an easy solution. This isn't something that's going to be a quick fix. We're dealing with this, and you know what I found interesting as you brought it up. Atree's top list has listed that truck parking is the number one issue among truck drivers. The number one issue among truck drivers out there, even before pay, even before home time, even before all these other issues, truck parking is their number one issue. And I think a recent study, as you discussed it, a recent study came out and said that 1 hour out of their day is taking 1 hour of a driver's day, on average, on their day, is out trying to find a place to park.
Wow.
I mean, an hour. Can you imagine that an hour? I mean, I get it if you had to drive to work for an hour, but just finding a place that is mandated under the law that you have to have a place to rest. You can't. It takes an hour in some cases 2. In some cases 3. Can you imagine looking for a parking space for 3 hours?
No, sir, I can't imagine that, and don't want to have to imagine that. Wow, that's really a tremendous issue, I tell you.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought it up. I hope you keep digging in and keep talking to people about parking. We've got to make sure we get the word out in the industry as a whole. I will tell you, Derek, drug testing has become a big topic. Do you have any information that you can help us with on this topic? Have you talked to anybody about that lately?
I had a guest on not too long ago by the name of Mrs. Brenda Calvert. She's the manager at Boss Tech Inc. They're out of the state of Washington. She's a very, very, very nice lady. And one of the things she had discussed with me that I wasn't really fully aware of, and I know you all probably are, is that a driver is required to get tested, randomly throughout the year, and also that they have 32 hours to do a drug test and 8 hours to do a breath alcohol test if they get involved in an accident. And also, if a truck driver gets a positive test, they are immediately requested to stop driving and do some type of non-driving, work, whether it's working in the warehouse or office or something of that nature. And then the process of going through counseling and doing a negative return to duty test and so forth. I found that very interesting to know, and she shared a lot of great information during that interview.
Yeah, that sounds like a great podcast. We'll be sure to open that up and watch that interview. It sounds like she's got a lot of knowledge on what's got to go on in the industry dealing testing. I'll tell you, it's something that to me, and I hope you agree, it's something that needs to be done. We don't want we don't want airplane pilots out there, doing drugs and flying planes and drinking, and we sure don't want our truck drivers out there doing the same thing, right? I mean, it's too dangerous,
Right.
it's too unsafe. It needs to be done. And I believe in the random policy as it stands. I do think it is something that needs to be done. As we go forward, I'll tell you what, it's exciting that you're touching on the businesses, right, in the industry and the up and coming businesses. You, like
Yes, sir.
yourself, in an up and coming business in podcasting and highlighting and doing that. The people that come up and do that, do you ever get a surprise call? Do you ever hear somebody out of the blue that wants to come in and wants to talk on your forum? You ever get those?
Yes, sir. Actually, I do. That does happen on occasion. Thankfully, it's not always me reaching out. Thankfully, it's some people that do have an interest and they reach out to me. And it seems like it always happened at times that, it's just like surprising times. I'm not expecting it, of course, or what have you. And, it's a good feeling. It's a very good feeling to know that somebody out there is watching or listening and they have an interest to be on the Trucking Entrepreneurs podcast. It's a very good feeling to me, and I'm very thankful and grateful for it.
Well, I tell you what. I hope that you get flooded with calls, and I hope that more and more people want to be on your podcast and be highlighted, and that you have an opportunity to interview them and test them. And as always, Derek, it's a great pleasure for you to come on here, visit with us, and let us know kind of what's going on with you and what happens. I'll tell you what, we look forward to having you on again soon. I am going to ask you that before you leave, make sure you state who you are and your name and who you're with, and that you're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Can you do that for me?
Yes, sir. My name is Derek Williams with the Trucking Entrepreneurs podcast, and with on BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
That's right. All right, man, Derek, I appreciate it, man.
Yes,
Good
sir.
stuff,
Thank
man.
you.
Hey, man, thanks for jumping on. We do appreciate you as always.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Likewise.
All right. Thank you very much.
Hey, welcome back to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. You got Double Check Dale this Monday morning. We're going to talk a little bit about weather, and then we're going to take a break and come back and talk safety. As far as winds go this morning, we got a little bit going on. If you are running across 80 up in Nebraska right now, up around North Platte, you have some gusts in excess of 40 miles an hour. So depending on your weight, you may want to slow down. If you're empty, you may want to pull over and park and wait it out a little bit. As the day goes on, those winds do intensify a little bit, or the area of winds spreads out a little bit to include eastern Colorado, western Kansas, and the winds start picking up in northern Minnesota, northern and central Minnesota. But by 9 o'clock this evening, the winds really start to die down. So just one area to watch out for really today, and that's going to be that Nebraska area, central Nebraska. As far as rain and thunder goes, currently some pretty strong storms going across central Iowa. And so that's where the strongest storms are. Some of those may spawn some tornadoes, some very strong winds, local flash flooding. So if you're going across Iowa central part, be aware of those storms going on. As we go through the afternoon, not a whole lot of rain and precipitation going on today until we get to this evening. And then up in
where are we going to? There we go. Up in central Illinois, Indiana, southern Michigan, you're going to see a few pop-up storms. Some of them may be locally severe, so be aware of that. But by 11 or 12 o'clock this evening, they start dying down, and it's pretty quiet overnight as far as precipitation goes. Temperature-wise, we're in for another hot day across the U.S., and so just be aware of that. Make sure you have plenty of water. Take care of your pets. Don't overexert yourself. Know the signs of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. And with that, we're going to take a short break and come back and talk safety.
This segment has been brought to you by Utility ProWear. Utility ProWear manufactures high-quality, ANSI certified, high-visibility apparel for both men and women. Infused with the Teflon fabric protector, Utility ProWear affords the wearer durable clothing with a great fit to afford the highest degree of safety. Get your high visibility apparel by going to utilityprowear.com. Use the code BCB20 at checkout for an exclusive discount.
Welcome back to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Double check. It's a big week today as we began yesterday with the CVSA's Drive Safe Week.
That it is. And so like I said, I love this week because it's not only about commercial motor vehicles, they're looking at all traffic. And so that gives them an opportunity to interact with more four-wheelers this week. One of their major focus is going to be speeding. Yep. So, we talk about that a lot. Slow down, increase your space, because following distance is another one of the things that they're going to be looking for. And so just be aware of speed and space. If you're doing the right speed and have plenty of space, hey, those are two of the things that they won't stop you for then. This week, we're going to talk about intersection safety. And we talk about that a lot because intersections are one of the most dangerous places on the roadway. And today's tip is notice your surroundings. Rick, I was thinking about this. We talk about rolling stops a lot. And when we do a rolling stop, we don't have that opportunity to take a good look about what's going on around us. And so you have to notice your surroundings, staying vigilant, watching traffic. Is the intersection being blocked by trees or signs? This is especially dangerous for pedestrians crossings because stopped vehicles can block a moving lane. About 44% of intersection crashes are caused by inadequate surveillance of surrounding. Means we don't take a good look. And so that is so important to be able to stop at all stop signs, but even at red lights, make sure that we're looking both ways and watching for the pedestrians, not just for cars or commercial vehicles. Be aware of pets, joggers, bicyclists, pedestrians. We got to stop there. We got to be vigilant. We got to take a look at our surroundings.
Yeah, Dave, any questions on that?
No, I don't have any questions. Intersections come in all forms and shapes and sizes. I will tell you that you have train intersections. You also have intersections where
What about the stop sign? Let's go back to that. For any problem understanding his part about the stop signs?
I don't have any problems with stop signs. I understand stop signs.
You stop at them?
Yes.
Every time.
Stop.
I have failed, and I'm working to be better at it. I have, in the past, made a mistake. Have you never rolled a stop sign, Sir Rick, ever?
Not in a long time, I haven't.
Was that a long time? Within, 6 months?
Probably 4 or 5 years.
Weeks?
Years.
Weeks?
I make a point on, especially at the backyard, and especially when I have others in my vehicle, safety folks inside of here, people from the show, people that I talk to drive safe, Dave. I'm just a big believer in that. I try to practice what I preach.
I do too, and I
practice
excited.
what I preach.
I'm excited about the opportunity.
Do you pass on the left and the right, even though it says do not pass?
No,
because that's when you fail to stop at a stop sign, even at a yard, even at a Walmart or something like that. You're setting that example that you can pick and choose when you want to stop.
I'm not arguing that, and I feel like you want me to argue. I'm not arguing the fact that you should stop.
I want you to walk down. I want you to come down. I want you to be baptized again and ask and beg and plead for the forgiveness of your sins, sir.
Well, I will tell you again. We are focusing on intersections, and I know you're talking about stop signs, but I wanted you to know that there are other intersections out there, and some of those might include.
Pick and choose, then. Which ones are more important?
I'm bringing to light other intersections, not just one kind. There are other intersections.
I think baby steps, sir. Baby steps. Start with the ones that say stop.
Okay.
Driveways, alleys, those are intersections.
Absolutely, they're intersections.
Yep.
Store entrances, just have to be very vigilant.
Fire departments, emergency vehicle entrances, truck entrances, all kinds of intersections that you may or may not encounter today.
Wow.
Be
Pretty
vigilant.
deep.
Look at, know your
Yes.
surroundings. It's that big picture. I mean, it's one of the first things in the Smith system. Get the big picture. Make sure we know what we're looking
Yeah,
at.
I feel like we need to just be talking to him today. You
Why,
know what?
why did you feel like it
I'm
was
already
made? But
there.
why?
I'm already there. I'm already there. I so believe in safety, Dave, that you know what? If you cut me, I'll bleed red. That's how safety oriented I am.
Isn't that what?
But that would be very safe to be cutting you.
Yeah,
Right?
why would you?
If you cut me,
Yeah.
not as safe as I am.
Why would you? What?
You know
Why
what?
are you not?
All I
Okay,
gotta
here we
say
go.
is that I really
By the
am,
way,
Dave.
here we
Listen to
go.
me.
I'll tell you what.
Is
I am
safety,
ever.
hold on, no, hold on. Is safety that important to you?
And let me tell
Is
you.
it, David? Is
Oh,
it the?
why is
no,
he over talking
it's
me?
yes
Why-
or no.
it's
Is safety the most important thing to you?
the most important thing in my life?
David, yes. Is safety, yes or no is all you got to say.
I'm
Is
gonna-
safety the most important thing in your life? Yes or no?
Yes.
Then Dave, just even more important than Jesus? Wow. Let's roll to some film.
Let's look at some videos.
First video we got today is called Overspeed, Too Close, Adjust for Conditions.
You know, it's a little bit of rain going on. We're too close in this one, and we're slightly over the speed limit. So we've just got to understand that, you know, as the weather conditions change, road conditions change, lighting conditions change, we need to make adjustments to our following distance. We need to increase the following distance in all those cases and make sure that we're at least at speed limit. You know, we're probably about a second back here by the end of this video, but still need to be at 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds depending on your speed. You know, we're at 70, so we're going over 100 feet per second right now. Got to have that space, especially when road conditions, weather conditions warrant it, increase it.
Next video we got is called Speed is Good, Too Close for the Heavy Traffic.
You know, like I said, we're up well underneath the speed limit, which goes to show, you know, just because we're on the speed limit doesn't mean your space is correct, because we're still too close on this one. Just have to back it off because we're not going anywhere. We can see both lanes are jammed up a little bit. So increase that space so if something happens in here, you have the following distance that allows you to come to a safe stop without hitting anybody.
Next we got Stop, Habit or Choice.
Here we go, folks. You know, there's a stop sign on both sides of the intersection or on both sides of that road, and the driver chooses to roll right through that. And so sometimes I think it just becomes a choice because, hey, I'm in a hurry. I need to make up time. I'm going to roll this because it's, you know, it looks to be pretty clear. Not a good choice. Not safe. Not obeying the law. And so we have to stop. And the time you think you're making here or saving here really isn't what you think it is. I mean, so just stop, do the right thing, do the law-abiding thing, and make sure we come to a complete stop. Look at your surroundings.
Dave, why do you choose to do that? I mean, what makes you make that choice?
What? You mean as a driver?
No, it's drive safe, Dave. As you right now, what makes you do that?
First of all, that wasn't me, and I don't choose to do that. I don't
It's
choose to do
what?
that. I don't
What
know
happened? Seriously, what happens on it? You come to the stop sign. You know you're supposed to stop, yet you don't.
But
Why
first
is
of all,
that?
I'm not a
curious.
stop sign runner right out there in the world. I don't know what he's saying. I do obey traffic laws. I do stop at stop signs. I made the mistake of not stopping at one. I already came clean last
Twice.
week. I don't
It
know
happened.
why.
I'm
I don't
asking-
in a parking lot. I don't know why I am serving up penance for this. For
Dave,
I
I'm just
have
asking,
already. I have
what
already
made you not
admitted-
run that? Then let's just go back to that day, that grueling day last week, in which you took the life of somebody else at Liberty with you,
I
and
did?
ran a stop sign.
I don't.
What happened? What happened? What happened, Dale? What happened? Why did we just run a stop sign? There's something there that says I'm not stopping.
Was he distracted? Was he in a hurry? You know, was he talking to somebody
good
looking
point.
over, not paying attention? What are
Did
the big
any of that
pictures?
happen with you?
I'm going to say I might have been distracted.
I mean, it's you know, and these stop signs that we hit about, we joke around about here. Let's act like it's not that important. They're extremely important.
Why would
to
you think
stop
they're not important?
At a parking lot, inside your workplace, at the roadway, intersections, Walmart, Chick-fil-A. If you see a stop sign, school zone, school property, so many things that you just have to stop. Cul-de-sac, your neighborhood. all of these things. Listen, we need you to make sure that you focus, because if you're breaking the law here, you're probably doing the same thing out there on the road. You play how you practice. Producer, you ever heard of that? You played football at high school.
Practice like you play.
Practice like you play. You practice like you play. And I just think that
you know what, I get it, and it's an ever improving. I understand that we can't all hit the ground running as perfect as Sir Rick, but what we can do is we can work to improve our daily lives each and every day to be better at what we do, to train to be better. It amazes me that I really need to follow you around one day with a camera and see if truly, you know what, it is time.
Kiss the ring.
The challenge has been placed.
Kiss the ring, sir.
Sam, Sarah in the cars.
I'm not scared. I live by what I preach. That's what I am. Dave, I stop and stop. I'm not that person that thinks it's cool to run a stop sign.
I know for a fact I've been in a car with this guy that you drive.
First of all, you've never, I bet you haven't been with me driving more than 5 times ever in the history of our friendship.
That is not true.
Ooh, and I say friendship. Understand, that's just a TV thing only.
Yeah.
It doesn't
First
really
of all,
mean
let me
that
just say this.
after
First of all, let me just say this. Rick likes to pass the baton of driving to someone else usually. And would you say that we haven't been in the car 5 times together with one of us driving?
Well, no, you typically drive.
Why?
Because that way I can coach you. That way I can
That's
coach
in-cab coaching right there.
Yes,
Oh,
my job is to make all of us, and it really is, I take it to that level there that Dave, I so loved safety that I came here for you.
Careful. You're bordering on blasphemy. Let's
more
do some videos.
All right, back to the videos. We got taking your outs away.
Again, when we follow too close, when we get too close behind somebody else, whether it's because of speed or choice or whatever, we take our outs away. And right now, we really don't have a very good out. If something happens with the red truck or the red vehicle in front of us or the vehicle alongside of us, and so it's just so important to have that following distance. Own that space between you and the vehicle ahead, so if something happens, because we take away a little bit of our big picture in a situation like this, can't see maybe what road debris may be lying ahead. If that car stops suddenly, we may not have time to get stopped in time, and so we just have to have that following distance.
Next we got bobtail too close.
Now this one here sent in, and you look how close that bobtail is, and that's just too close. Driver in this one does a nice job of starting backing away from it, seeing, hey, that's way too close. If something goes wrong up there, I'm too close, and so it backs on out of it. But great video showing that, we're not the only ones. Sometimes the drivers that send these videos in are not the only ones tailgating. It goes on out there. Great job recognizing it.
Our last video of the day is called Just Too Close, 0.9 following distance.
And again, we don't have the graphics or metrics up that show it, but this is 0.09. We're just too close. We're at well over 100 feet per second at 70 miles an hour. Just have to back out of it. Lots of traffic going on. The chaos, just stay away from the chaos. Make sure we have the room to come to that stop safely, slow down safely when we get in a chaotic situation like this, heavy traffic, Jersey wall, other people around us. So just back out of it, folks. Just increase that space, and that's what we're asking for. Just do the safest thing here. And it should be it.
All right, great videos, and again, we continue to see speeding, continue to see the spacing, and you've got to remember that, sometimes I think you believe you have enough distance on there when you're following the 4 wheels, you can see above them, all that. Listen, you've got to make sure that you can stop, and when you're 0.9, when you're 1.5 seconds, you need more time. Reduce your speed, increase that space. Do what you can to make sure that that you're allowing yourself to be successful in the event that something bad happens. And we're going to see some of that. You know what? Hopefully I would like for the during this week's safe check that the the DOT or the officers out there that they're seeing that and they're stopping people and educating them on following too close.
Absolutely. And, a lot of times what they do, officers are very good for the most part about coaching and say, hey, do you know why I stopped you? And some drivers say, oh, no, I don't have a clue. Most of the time they do. They've got a really good idea why they're being stopped. following distance may be one of those where drivers may not understand how close they were and why they're being stopped. And so hopefully, you know, those officers will take the time to coach and tell them how dangerous it is to be that close behind.
Yeah, they're going to do a lot of coaching out there, and and you'll have to sign a piece of paper, a real small, narrow one at the bottom, at the end of the coaching session during this week.
Well, you know what? It's we continue to see these things, and again, we want to make sure we're making the improvements necessary. Listen, statistics, they're real. They tell the story that 80% of those that don't stop at stop signs tend to follow too close. It all goes into the same kind of statistics. And it's just what it is.
Where did you come up with that number?
Just years and years of study, sir.
Did you just, I feel like that is a number you just pulled out of some random, 80%, right on the 80.
Mm-hmm.
4 out of 5.
He rounded it up, okay? Just
rounded it up to.
That's from AAA, you know. So
it's not from AAA.
It was from AAA. From all right. Hey, you want to close out with a prayer? Drive safe.
Dear Heavenly Father, we gather before you today to ask for your grace in all things. Father, we ask that you help us today to be better at what we do, to improve our skill set, and to make sure that we find ways to go out there and be safe like never before. Father, protect us on the road. Watch out for what everyone around us, and help us make great decisions. We ask all this in your name we pray. Amen.
All right. We will see us for certain. I want to make sure you know that come Thursday, Friday, Saturday, we're going to be live from in Iowa. Drive safe, Dave. I saw we had a little bit of rain there today. Hopefully it's moving on out of there. But we had the big truck stop, the largest truck stop in America, the I-80 Walcott. Is that right?
Walcott, just west of Des Moines.
So big time, we're going to be there. We're going to do a lot of interviews. If you're out there as an owner-operator, company driver, or whatever, hey, look for us out there. You'll see us roaming. We got a booth out there. We're there to talk safety. Yep. We're there to get the word out about safety, all things safety related, including stop signs. We'll see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. at BCB Live.
The safest station in the nation. Oh, sorry about that.
Dave, well, Dave, he doesn't feel it.
No. The safest station in the nation.
Will you start following all of the things that the station does, Dave?
I have repented last week. I guess today. I guess we're on the installment plan on justice being served for my failure to stop at a Walmart stop sign. I am sorry, everyone out there. I am sorry.
That and much, much more. You get all right here on BCB Live. We're here to make you better, no matter what it is. It starts with drive safe, Dave. Do not pass ever.
I am willing to improve every day. Some of us don't want to improve because they don't feel like they have to, but I do want to improve each and every day to be a better person.
I was going to tell you, if you just stop at the stop sign, there's nothing to really improve on. You're just following the rules. You're not breaking the law. Breaking the law! Breaking the law! We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye, everybody.